Simple Car Guy here, and this is my BMW X7 that I've had for just over 6 months. In this video, I'll tell you what I love about this car and why I think it's the ultimate used luxury SUV on the market today. Every car, of course, has its strengths and weaknesses, and we'll be diving into some of my favorite features as well as not so favorite shortcomings of this BMW X7. First up, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The size. This BMW X7 is a large SUV. That could be looked at as a positive and as a negative. Of course, the size affects how the car handles, how easy it is to drive, especially in urban environment or tight parking spaces, but it also translates into commanding presence on the road. I noticed this the day I bought it and when I drove it home for 700 miles. Something about the size of the car, the kidney grills or the headlights or the bold proportions makes people get out of your way. This car definitely makes a grand entrance and commands attention and respect on the road. The attention to detail on the outside here is what sets the X7 apart for me. I especially love the style of these headlights. Actually, it's one of the reasons I didn't go for the newer X7 with the split headlight that's available on the LCI version of the X7. So that's the one that has a little thin headlight up top and then another one here in the bumper. I just don't get that look. I also love that this one has a step up, so you can just step into the vehicle. It makes it much easier for people that maybe a little bit of a shorter stature. There are plenty of other cool little features around the car, including the illuminated door handles that also light up the side of the car at night. And of course, there's tons of chrome all around the vehicle that a lot of people love, but I'm actually blacking out most of it since this car did come with shadow trim. So I'm trying to go for more of that understated black on blue look. Let me know what you think. Of course, there are plenty other options for those that like the more aggressive looks, as there are M versions of this car, so like the M50i or the M60i on the newer LCI versions. Overall, I'm impressed with the elegance and sophistication and even athleticism in a way, well, at least at a certain angle, despite the giant size. Right before we step inside, we can also appreciate the soft closed doors that just make you feel like you've made it. Gently close the door and the car will do the rest. Let me show you. Just like that. You saw how it pulled the door in? Let me show you that again. There it is. No more slamming of the doors, which is kind of really nice. I've had this on my BMW 550, and this was one of the features that I really wanted on the X7. However, the interior of the X7 is what really takes it to another level of luxury. It may not be a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley, but we get premium materials, meticulous attention to detail, spacious and comfortable cabin that creates an ambience that rivals the finest cars. At night, we also get non-intrusive ambient lighting that makes it feel that much more luxurious. Of course, the biggest strength of X7 versus the X5 or X3 is the amount of space you have when you get inside. Not only can you seat 6 adults comfortably, but there's also enough space in the back for luggage. Everyone can truly feel comfortable here with the 5-zone climate controls, heated seats, yes, even in the third row here, and plenty of legroom and headroom. I still have about 3 inches in front of my knees, and this seat can actually move up way further up there. So this is almost all the way back, and I still have lots of space. There's plenty of room for my head here. I'm 5'10", so I'm not the tallest person, but a 6-foot person can easily sit all the way in the third row and still be comfortable. The driver also gets an 18-way adjustable seat for a no-compromise comfort. Some trim levels even get handcrafted trim pieces, and every detail is designed for a first-class experience. There are plenty of features to love here. For example, the cup holder is heated and cooled to keep your drinks at a perfect temperature. In the back here, the second row gets window shades that are great if you have kids. That way you can block off some of the sun and some of those UV rays hitting your child while on a longer road trip. Third row gets private sunroof that's just right here that can be also operated and controlled from this third row. Of course, you can lock all of these controls from the front if you don't want your kids messing with all of this stuff. Of course, all seats are electronic and the rears can be folded flat for extra storage, just as you see right here. So I have one of these folded, that way I have a lot of storage, and then I can still take 4 adults plus a child all at the same time. Not only that, but you can also upgrade the rear seats from the driver's seat. The part that I'm not a big fan of is how slow these adjustments can feel, especially if you are standing outside in the rain waiting for the seat to move up. for somebody to get in. Once you are inside though, you can relax by enabling one of the experience modes that just transforms the entire car. Now that's relaxing. If you are new to BMWs, you will find plenty of fun, cutting-edge technology, as well as some mature tech built into this vehicle. For example, you get the old-school iDrive controller for your infotainment system, but of course it's now a touchscreen as well. You can also use the top of the controller as a touchpad for entering data. So there's tons of ways to actually put the information into this vehicle. There are plenty of features built in as well, and even some apps that you can download. One of them, for example, adds a dash camera capability to the vehicle. So now your car can record any incidents for your safety. You can also remotely start the car from your phone and even get a 3D image of the surrounding area when you are not nearby. The iDrive system is intuitive, responsive, and seamlessly integrates with the latest connectivity options. We also get a heads-up display, which can now show various information depending on the driving mode or assistance features that you are using at the moment. You can also add a map to your driving display just down below here. Of course, if you connect your phone to wireless CarPlay, you can have your directions show up in this display as well. And at the same time, you can charge your phone on one of these wireless charging pads in the center console. Being a modern car, it also has a 360-degree camera system with parking assist, different camera angles, and even a trailer cam for when towing. As you can see, there are tons of cool features all over this car, and I'll be sure to make a video highlighting some of the hidden and lesser known features in the near future. The seamless integration of technology into driving experience was something I truly appreciated after driving this car for some time. I even started using the voice assistants and the gesture controls, which I never thought I actually would. Hey BMW, what's the weather like in Chicago?
Currently, it is sunny in Chicago with a temperature of 52 degrees.
There are a few quirks I'm not a big fan of course, main one being the lack of the sync button for the AC system, especially with 5 different zones. It would be nice to be able to synchronize all of them with just one button, instead of having to fiddling through all of the menus to find the options, you know, disable the controls in the back and then synchronize all of the temperature and everything else. Just something to, you know, maybe add in the future. Although most cars are going away with any physical buttons, so I'm not too hopeful. Now let's talk about the engine and the driving experience. You might be surprised that it took me this long to get to this point in the video, but to be fair, that's not exactly what this car is about. Yes, it has a powerful 335 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque engine out of performance versions of other BMW vehicles like the 3 and the 4 Series, other SUVs, and even the Toyota Supra, but is it enough to lug around 5,400 pounds? I'm happy to report that this large SUV has no problem taking off the line and pulling hard into the triple digits. It accelerates pretty quickly. Obviously, it's not like a sports car or anything, but it still has decent acceleration. It also has fairly soft suspension, so the road's not amazing here. There's definitely some bumps, and those are just basically smoothed out to a point where you don't even feel them. That's how good the suspension on this car is if you like comfortable rides without much drama. If that's not enough for you, you can of course get the bigger 4.4 liter V8 engine that produces 523 horsepower and will get you to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Yes, this huge SUV can get to 60 in 4.5 seconds if you get that bigger engine. If that's not impressive for a 3-row luxury SUV, I don't know what is. This being the flagship BMW SUV also means that the power delivery is very smooth, deliberate, and confidence-inspiring, which can't exactly be said about the suspension. While this is the most comfortable car I have ever driven, it does suffer from that floatiness I was not used to in any other BMWs, at least in the comfort mode. Luckily, it has air suspension that can be adjusted for comfort when you are with your family or for better handling in sport mode. In this mode, the car lowers itself 20 millimeters, activates EDC sport dampening, increases throttle response, holds the gear longer for faster acceleration, and gives the steering a heavier feel. We also noticed that it doesn't lean nearly as much when we're making the turn, so the suspension definitely stiffens up a little bit, which is nice to see. The speed pickup is much better. It's still very comfortable to drive, so there's no issues there at all. It also has very sharp acceleration, as we saw there. And of course, you can go into manual mode, which is going to give you even more control over those gears and where the engine is in the rev range. So all of these changes make a huge difference, and all of a sudden it delivers a driving experience that combines the thrill of a sports car with the comfort of a luxury vehicle. You still get the smooth ride, but with much less roll in the corners. It's the perfect blend of luxury and performance and is impressive for the vehicle of this size. And look at that, we have a X7M competition in front of us. Should we race him? No, probably not, he has a V8. To me, when you switch the car from normal to sport mode, it basically transforms the entire car. It feels like a completely different animal. It feels more like my friend's BMW X6 M50i that I've done a review on a couple of years ago, which has a V8. Obviously, this doesn't have a V8 and it weighs more, but the feel of the car is very similar when you are in sport mode. Will I be getting rid of my BMW Z4 as the fun car? Absolutely not. But if all SUVs drive like this when they are in sport mode, I don't really mind driving my kid around that much anymore. To be very clear, this car is not about the horsepower of the engine or how fast it can accelerate to 60. This car is all about practicality. Yes, one of the reasons I bought the X7 is because it's a lot more fun to drive than other big SUVs, but what it really offers is a perfect blend of elegance and functionality that's perfect for family adventures, cross-country trips, and occasional delivery from Home Depot. Being a large SUV, you can also add a bike rack under here or pull a trailer up to 7,500 pounds. Check out this video to see how I installed a hidden aftermarket trailer hitch on this actual car. So this vehicle is definitely versatile and practical, but don't think you'll be taking it off-road very much. The air suspension would lead you to believe that you can go off-road since it can raise itself another 40 millimeters from the standard height, but this is a highway cruiser and an urban kid hauler. The air suspension is more useful for loading and unloading groceries as it can lower the rear of the car another 20 millimeters from the actual ride height for your convenience. As an example, so if you just press the button, so let's give it a second so it can do that. Come on. There you go. All right. So if you need a vehicle with robust off-road capabilities, there are definitely better suited options. That being said, it will probably do great in the snow, but I'll give you more information on that after winter. Living in the Midwest, winters also mean salt on the road, so it's a good time to protect the paint on your vehicle. This year I will be trying this ceramic spray from Torque Detail. I try to keep the paint on this car in good shape, but unfortunately touchless car washes are just not cutting it. I went through one here and the car still looked like this. Applying a ceramic coating on top of the clean paint will create a smooth layer that allows the water and other debris to bead off the car, keeping it cleaner longer. You can immediately see the difference in the shine of the paint, and it should last between 6 and 12 months, which is about as long as Chicago's winter. Lastly, I wanted to touch on ownership cost and maintenance. Owning a luxury vehicle like this comes with certain expectations, and one of those expectations is that you will spend more in basically every category. It will cost you more to insure it, to repair it, to buy tires, and even to buy gas. However, this X7 is unique in that it shares a lot of its components with regular BMWs. As I mentioned earlier, the engine is used across the BMW range, and so is the transmission and most of the running gear. That means I still get 20 miles to a gallon with mixed driving. Of course, the more powerful V8 will be thirstier and you'll be lucky to get into the high teens, but that's to be expected with the weight of the vehicle and the performance it provides. The maintenance cost should also be on par with most other BMWs unless you run into uniquely X7 specific issues such as the air suspension. Any problem with that and you are in for a costly visit to the dealer. But everything engine related should be the same cost as on a 340i. Some people also might be worried about the reliability, which used to be a big concern with bigger BMWs, but luckily newer engines such as the B58 is one of the most reliable engines BMW has ever made. I did have an issue with the TCU unit, which is the antenna, the little shark fin in the back, but it was covered under warranty. Normally that probably would have cost about $2,000 to fix. If you're interested in reliability of these vehicles, subscribe to the channel, as I will be making a video going over each potential issue as well as all of my experiences and maintenance costs from this vehicle. And there you have it, guys, the BMW X7 and the main reasons why I choose this vehicle as my family mobile for the next few years. Are there better and more luxurious SUVs on the market? Absolutely. Are you going to spend double or triple the money? Absolutely. At the time of filming this video, you can get a 3-year-old BMW X7 40i just like this for under $50,000 and enjoy the luxury, performance, and versatility that is built into this ultimate luxury SUV on a budget. I've been an extremely happy owner over the last half a year, and I've even done some mods as well as maintenance videos I encourage you to check out right here or maybe right here and in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!